competing. When we come to autobiographies in 2023, it's competing with the autobiographies for politicians. Now, if you're a politician, they're very sure. They know this is a book that's going to sell, because everybody wants to know why was the election lost? You know, why did so and so win the election?
Being a first-time author, what are some of the things that you had to deal with? Because when you think about it in Kenya, I don't even know how one becomes an author. Like if you want to write a book, I know there's bookshops and there's books, but I've never even thought about, like how to start and where to go if I want to write a book, and how am I going to get my book in a bookshop? How am I going to get people to buy my book? I've never even thought about that. So with you being a first-time author, how did you navigate that?
Okay, so I'll be honest. One of the other reasons why Africans... Okay, let me talk about Kenyans.
Yeah.
Why Kenyans do not write books is it's a very, very expensive affair. So first of all, you have the intellectual property, you sitting down and basically coming out with the words. Time is money. We don't have a lot of time, because you find that a lot of us are working 8 to 5 jobs. So if you're going to write a book, it has to be an activity you're doing after your work. So if, for instance, you'll find in first world countries like now America, we have people whose jobs is to just write books.
Yes.
We rarely have that.
Career authors.
Yeah, that's just their career. That's what they live on. In Kenya, it's so difficult to find that, because which is something we're going to talk about later, the fact that we are not readers. So it's not easy to live off books. So the first challenge for me that I thought was this book would have come out sooner if that's all I was doing. But of course, I had an 8 to 5 job that supports me, and so this is something I was doing in the night or in the weekend is when I have to write a book. And for an author, what happens is when you are in the zone, you need to write. You need to write.
You need to keep going.
You need to keep going, but sometimes you have to stop because kesho niko job. Or maybe whatever, one thing or another. So you have to drop the zone. You'll pick up another day or that kind of thing. So the first thing is that the issue that we do not have career authors. You have to mix up writing a book with something else. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2, when you write a book in the first world, there's all publishing companies that all you have to do is to write a manuscript, like a raw manuscript, like a story. You give it to them.
Yes.
They read it, and then they try to see whether it's actually a worthy story to put out there. If it's a worthy story, they're going to take it up. They're going to adopt it. So they're going to do the whole process. So in writing a book, you have something like, we have, first of all, the proofreading. First of all, the fact checking.
Yes.
The things that you're writing, are they facts? Is it the truth? If you say that this person went to World War, is it true? Is this something that can be? Is
it something that you can
be
back
challenged?
up?
There can be backed. So there's that, the fact checking. You have to do that by yourself. While in the first world, there's somebody specifically for that. The second thing is you have to go through edits. Somebody who's going to edit your book. The third thing is you need somebody who's going to proofread your book. The fourth thing is you need somebody who will design a book, the book itself. You know how the pages come in, what is the font that you're using, what sort of paper will you need, even the cover of the the design of the cover, you'll need somebody to do that. So if you take a manuscript to a publishing house, they're going to do all that for you.
Yes.
But in Kenya, if you're an author, you have to do all that by yourself. So it's really quite a lot of work, and it's time consuming, and it's money. All these things that I've spoken about, whether it's a proofreader, whether it's a designer, it's a cover designer, book designer, all that will cost money. We have these people who do this, but it all costs money. So you have to pay for that. Then now the third thing is you're going to have to print your book by yourself. So printing again.
Wow.
You have to do now a budget for printing your book. So once you've done your printing, and that's still your money, now you have to sit down and start marketing the book yourself. So all these processes in the first world are just taken over by a publisher. But for you, you'll have to navigate everything from writing the book. You have to look for an editor, you have to look for a proofreader, you have to look for a designer. Once you've done that, you have to go to a printer. You have to go to River Road to look for the for the various printers. You agree with them. You look at a budget. Can you
all that at personal cost?
Yeah, at your personal cost. There's nobody sponsoring you. So this is what we call self-publishing, because nobody has taken your book to publish it. You get? Yeah. So there's a very big difference between a self-published book and a book from publishers. For instance, if I could get Jomo Kenyatta Foundation to publish my book, I wouldn't have to go through all that. When I finished writing this book, probably last year, maybe June, July, August, I should have just given the manuscript. They will do everything else.
They'll do everything
else.
You know, somebody, that's interesting you mentioned that, because somebody had a few questions that they had asked, and one of them was, people often think there are no good publishing houses in Kenya. What has been your experience? But you're self-published.
I'm self-published.
Are there publishing houses in Kenya?
There are very many publishing houses in Kenya.
And what was your experience with them?
First of all, we tend to concentrate more as a country on books that are going to schools, set books. Academic books. Why? Because they sell, they get money.
Sure,
you understand?
Yeah.
They get sure money.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how many people are going to buy rough silk. You get? So if you are, for instance, a famous politician, like this book is competing, when we come to autobiographies in 2023, it's competing with the autobiographies for politicians. Now, if you're a politician, they're very sure. They know this is a book that's going to sell, because everybody wants to know why was the election lost? You know? Why did so and so win the election? All that kind of thing. So if you are a politician and you say, I've written my autobiography, it's going to be taken up very fast by a publishing house. But if you're just Tendo, first of all, you're Tendo.
Your dad.
It's your first book. And the person you're writing about, nobody knows who the hell he is. So somebody will ask you, why should I publish this book? You know, and all these other things that you have to say, they're not going to work. Yeah. So that's the first thing. If you are a first-time author, or if you're just an author who is not known, if you're Ngugi wa Thiong'o, it's different. If you are Yvonne Owori, it's different, because these are already established. And why are they established? They are established because they were taken up by publishing houses, mostly in England. You get what I mean? But if you're a self-published author, there's all those challenges that I've mentioned. The fact that you have to write, you have to go through the process of proofreading and everything. You have to go by yourself. You have to go through printing by yourself. Then you now have to sit down and start marketing the book. Basically what I'm doing, by yourself on your social media and everywhere else. Then you have to sit and find and get a place where you can sell the book. Because also, outside the publishing houses, the established bookshops do not just accept any book. Everybody is looking for how are we going to make money out of it? How are we going to make? Nobody's just going to take any book. So it's really been a challenge. And one thing I can say is that over the past probably 3 or 4 years, it has grown. It has morphed a little bit. We've had, and I want to shout out to Nuria Online.
I love them.
Yes. So Nuria is one guy who opened up for his platform, his bookshop, for all sorts of authors. So whether you're self-published, he will not ask you, okay, give me your book, let me read your book, let me see whether it's up to standard. He will take your book. So it's really up to the people to come and buy. So at least you have something to tell the people, go and pick my book from Nuria. But before, if you are a self-published author, you'd be selling your book from the house. From your house. So you print your books, you put them in your bedroom, you talk to friends. When you're in a pub, you tell guys, hey, by there you guys, I have 5 books, I have 5 books in my car. Anyone interested? They take it. If you're at work, you basically use your community to sell the book. And that's now what has been happening. So those are the challenges,